3, 2, 1. Confidence on 3 and the clutch on 6. 1, 2, 3.
Confidence
4, 5, 6.
in the clutch.
Confidence in the Clutch is proud to bring you number 1 in our series of Milwaukee icon, Milwaukee ballers, legends, Milwaukee playground legends. You had to do something in the city. You had to be all state. You had to be all conference. You had to be somebody. This is not for the people that said they played. This is not for the weak. This is for the strong. This is for our legends, our icons, our moguls, everybody. Okay, first one up to the table is my man, BG Brian Garner. So without further ado, we're going to bring in BG, but you know it's a confidence in the clutch thing, so we're going to bring him in the right way, y'all. Yeah. Wow. BG, Brian Garner. Let me run it down to y'all real quick, y'all. We're going to salute my brother. His resume includes Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame 2016 inductee. 1987 AP Wisconsin Player of the Year. 1985 and 87 WIA State Champion for the Washington Purgolders. His senior year, going into his senior year, considered one of the top high school players in the country, 32 to be exact. He played in Dapper Dan. For you old school players, everybody know he was either Dapper Dan or McDonald's All-American. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the Jordan and all that stuff they have now. Went on to play collegiately at Iowa, Oral Roberts, and professional overseas. I introduced to you Brian Garner. What up, B?
Hey, Nelson.
Yeah, it's all good. So we want to do this at Confidence in the Clutch, brother, because of our special relationship. I feel this is great because, you know, you was at Riverside when I got there. You put me to the side, and I'm like, BG, I used to watch BG on TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was great to meet somebody that I looked up to when I was a little short. He didn't know who you was, but I knew you played at Iowa. I knew you was from the Mill. I knew you went to Washington. That's all that mattered. So when it came down to it, during our state title run, you was the one that was pulling me to the side that gave me some greatness, some tips and all that.
Now I see why you was listening to me. I couldn't understand at first why you was listening to me, dude, just standing on the sideline watching the games.
Word, yeah, because I knew who you were. Yeah, I mean, I knew your greatness then. And what I listened to anybody, but you, particularly, you wasn't telling me nothing wrong. You weren't telling me nothing wrong. Yeah, I mean, that road was real, but it ain't even about me. It's about Brian Garner, baby. Take me to the beginning, BG.
The beginning of what?
The beginning of basketball. Wow. When did that ball get into your life?
In Hillside. I gotta go all the way back. In Hillside. I'm originally from Hillside, when Hillside and Lamb Park was together.
Okay.
When I left Hillside, I left behind, one of my aunties had like 16 kids, so with them still staying in Hillside, Hillside stayed part of me.
Okay.
But I left and I moved on 33rd and Walnut.
Okay.
When I moved to 33rd and Walnut, everybody holler about the great Wilbur Roundtree.
Okay.
Well, that was one of the people that taught me how to play.
Okay.
Gary Gross. Gross used to beat everybody up. Was
okay.
One of my first coaches.
Okay.
So everybody that everybody revered and looked up to were the people that were teaching me how to play, originally coming from Hillside with Javon McDays and John Armours, and, you know, people don't know as far back that it go. You know, Dan Bush, Kevin Spruer, all them sitting around watching them play at the King Center. And now it's my turn up.
Okay. And
it was my turn up at like 7, 8 years old. My father used to be running around here telling everybody, well, I want you to play against dude right there. You know, and I say he'll walk around, he'll just put me on the playground with whoever, and he'll walk away and be like, man, when I come back, y'all gonna know about what's going on. And because I love basketball, I didn't know what he was doing at the time.
Okay.
But he really was just putting me around everybody to see how I compared.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
The way he trained me, the training came from going to the gym with him. And while they playing, I can just stand on the sideline, shoot free throws, dribble up and down the court, stuff like that. But I couldn't wait for somebody to get hurt.
Okay.
So when one of the old dudes got hurt, their rule was don't turn it over.
Right, word.
Man, I mean, you can't wait to get in, and they say don't turn it over. So one day they told me, said, man, when we say don't turn it over, that means don't be scared. We'd rather you shoot it than turn it over.
That's right.
Once I started doing that, my confidence level went through the ceiling. And it went through the ceiling because I was playing with grown men being successful.
Okay.
And as a kid playing with grown man back then being successful, because they used to baby us.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to kill them on the basketball court, then as soon as you get off, they pop you upside the head and say, go home, stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of them
Word.
kids, right on the playground. You know, we had to wait and watch. At Sherman, we used to have to wait and watch all the older dudes play. And then what we did after they played, we waited till the base softball lights.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when the softball was going on? While they playing softball, we got to play that late.
That was extra time.
Extra
so
time.
You love the summer at Sherman.
Yeah, because I was from all over the city, and when I say all over the city, when you got family members and as small as Milwaukee really is, you know, I would be on the east side, I'll be in Hillside, I'll be on the west side. You know, when you're at Sherman Park, everybody come to Sherman Park because it wasn't, at that time, we didn't have all the boys and girls clubs and all the different organizations. It was either Sherman Park, you might be at Tiffin Tyler, something like that, but that kept you in your neighborhood. Washington Park, but Washington Park didn't have no basketball courts. We only had, you know, the half court.
Right.
So everybody would come to Sherman. And as evolution went, they just put all us together. And when I say us, I'm not speaking of separating blacks and whites, because it was white people that would come up to Lincoln.
Right.
But I felt like Lincoln wasn't a true representation of what Milwaukee was about, because we used to all go in each other's neighborhoods. If you was cold, we coming to see you.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? If you was cold, we coming to see you with our 5, and we gonna play without no mess.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And after that, we gonna go hang out, party with each other, and all that. Them days, they over with around here. So with that being said, I'm not scared to walk around, none of that, because I'm one of the few people that can go in anybody's neighborhood and know that I'm okay.
Everybody can't do that, BG. So what age was that? What age was that when you got introduced to the game?
Ooh, weird. I'm telling you, probably about 5, 6.
5, 6?
Yep, and the little stuff I used to do, now you paying a trainer.
Okay.
I used to get my basketball and walk between my legs and see if I can go around 4 corners. Wherever I stopped at, that mean I messed up. That's where I got to finish at.
Word.
Then I got to the point where I was successful doing it. But I go up to Washington High School track and walk around the track. I got to the point where I can go 5, 6 laps and walk and dribble in between my legs, not turn it over. So now when you playing in the game, it ain't no pressure.
Right.
Because you know you played with that ball and you ain't turning it over, you ain't losing it when it's just you by yourself.
Right.
Because that's what basketball about. You wait for that ball to pop out there and get it.
Right, that's what we used to do. I'm from 28 from Burleigh, so that's what we used to do. The older cats, they got to go to hour. My mama didn't let me go to hour. Farthest I can go was 30 on Locust. So, but no, it's crazy.
And
Yeah, we did the same
competitions,
thing.
though. They was a competition
Yeah,
doing
you had
that.
to, and you had to have Nike ears with an air bubble after a while.
Well, see, no, we started with Converse. It was
Right.
that deep with me. We started with Converse. True story. We started with Converse from Project Respect 1. And with that going on, I went to basketball. The first summer it was time to go to basketball camp. This when you're going to know that I'm from the hood. We won state in 85. In 85, when we won state, I didn't go back to school after we won state. So not one day did I go back to school. Every day I skip and go somewhere else.
Okay.
It wasn't because I thought I was better than everybody. It was because it was just that fun as a kid. We figured out other stuff to do. And our thing to do then was talk to girls. They might be, everybody had their own thing they do. Talk to a girl. Some of them drunk, some of them smoke. Or some people just came and hung out because they wanted to be part of something.
Word.
So it came time to go to basketball camp that summer. And a lot of people, y'all know Keith Stewart, Charles Luter, Trevor Powell, Tony Smith, all us grew up together in the same neighborhood. So the day that we were leaving going to this big camp, DC camp, my report card came.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. My report card said .833. My mother was a school teacher.
No.
All right. And so you know what she did.
Right.
My father cried.
Right.
But he cried with me.
Right.
Because I was him. You know what I'm saying? I would be at the softball parks and he'll leave me and I can hang out with everybody. And I learned how to hang out and stay out of trouble at the same time.
Okay.
So with that being said, I learned how to hang out, stay out of trouble, but I forgot about school. But I wanted to bounce this ball. So my mama knew about the ball bouncing.
Right.
And what happened afterwards. My daddy didn't care about what happened afterwards. He just cared that I could play. And of course, ain't nothing wrong with your dad being proud that you can play basketball, because my dad was the community's dad too.
Right.
So it wasn't just like he would brag about me. He'll brag about me and then have this other kid with him at the same time. Like, yeah, and this my nephew that's from such and such, and he'll do the same thing.
Okay.
because we all came up the same way. It wasn't like I was better than nobody. It was like the training that you go through, and once you learn the nuances of basketball, it became easy.
Word.
And it became easy because I had a white coach. I'm just going to say it, a white coach. Clyde Russ. Gordon didn't coach me.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon used to work in the building and tell that I didn't come back to school in 85. All them, you know what I'm saying? But I understood it. You know what I'm saying? But this coach, every summer, he would take me to Whitewater, La Crosse, Stevens Point. All the, what's the name of that conference that you... The Whitewater Conference?
What, WIAC or something
Whatever.
like that?
They used to take us around, and me and Trevor would go to that camp, and we'd be the best players at the camp, and all of them would be seniors in high school and all that. And then once I got to college, I realized our coach was just taking us around so that we can have repetition with fundamentals, but we was also demonstrating to the people in upper Wisconsin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't paying attention to it then.
Right.
I didn't. When I finally paid attention to what our coach was doing was when they gave me the Hall of Fame induction.
Man.
Because all them people that I seen coming up that he would take us to was them same people that voted for me to be a Hall of Fame person, a Hall of Fame inductee.
Man, that's big. That's big for the city. So, BG, what's your favorite basketball moment? Your best highlight of your career?
Man, that's a hard call.
Man.
That's a hard call.
Give me a couple.
Give me a hard call. It's a hard call. It's a hard call, Nelson, because it's some stuff that touched me that y'all probably would never see.
Word.
Like every country that I played in, I went to the championship.
Okay.
So just the fact of doing that, you know, coming up, I was 72-6 in high school, unheard of, and the competition level was unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now when they talk about getting cheated and all that kind of stuff, it was way worse.
Yeah.
It was way worse.
Yeah, it was way worse back then.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting in the stands with my Washington shirt on in the middle of Kakana.
Right.
It was way worse.
Right.
So for them to say cheating, I mean, everybody got their opinion. I can respect their opinion.
Right.
But like you said at the beginning of your show, if you ain't been through it, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Sometimes you need to just sit back and do more watching and listening than talking.
Word. What was your most painful, hurtful basketball moment?
When I broke my arm, man.
Okay.
I was at Iowa.
Okay.
And every summer when you come back, you can only play in a sanctioned summer league. So they would make me play down there in their summer league. And their summer league was so easy that I would always want to come home and play in Warren.
Mm-hmm.
So one year I came back, I played in Warren, but I snuck and played in the adult Pro-Am league. And it was at the Silver Spring Center. So one of the dudes, I cross him over and he take a charge. I fall, he fall on top of my arm. I have a compound fracture. Compound fracture means your bone is sticking out, sticking out your arm, and I'm still eligible at Iowa.
Right.
So I ended up transferring from Iowa, going to Oral Roberts, got the scholarship with one arm. I went and tried out for the team with one arm. One left arm was in a cast, right arm I played with. And just to let you know how tough Oral Roberts was, that's when Haywood Workman that played in the NBA is there. I don't know if y'all know Greg Sutton, Anthony Johnson. It's like 4 or 5 people from Oral Roberts that went to the NBA.
Okay.
So every point guard that I played with has made it to the NBA.
Word.
So imagine how I feel. Maybe that's the moment we talking about.
Yeah,
that moment.
Yeah, that moment.
That
right
all
there.
the point guards I know made it to the NBA. Even Tony Smith.
Word.
Respect to Tony Smith. We from the same place. We from the same hood. But all these guards that I done touched made it to the NBA. And we still respect each other.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But then when we sit around, when me and you sit around and we talk about how the public talk about who the best this and who the best that, that's when I really think about the OGs, because the OGs always told me, you don't brag about yourself. You let people brag about you.
That's right.
And if people brag about you, then you did something right coming through them ranks. Whatever it is you did.
Right.
And he said, you going to find out what you did because they going to be the ones talking about it.
Word.
And Lord and behold, that's what we doing now, 30, 40 years later from basketball.
Word. So give me some of your favorite teammates, man. I know you had some of your guys. You played, at Washington, you played in Iowa, or Roberts overseas, man. I know you got some of your guys, some of your favorite teammates, your ride or dies, your go-tos.
Some of my favorite teammates. Man, one of them I could say is Trevor Powell. I'll start from high school and go up. How about that? Start from childhood. One of the first was Von McDay.
Okay.
Nobody knew about Von. Me and Von came through. We from Hillside together. We love basketball, but both of us had the hood in us. You know what I'm saying? The hood in us in whatever capacity it was, but we knew that we were great. We'd be great at that because that's something that we succeeded at a young age against adults.
Okay.
Then it was Wilbur Roundtree. Where everybody talk about the great Wilbur Roundtree. Well, you know, I can remember before Tracy McGrady throw it off the backboard and throw it off the backboard, catch it to himself and dunk. Mm-hmm. Wilbur Roundtree used to name that Charlie Moe. And before he do it, he'd say, man, I'm finna do Charlie Moe. And everybody that knew him knew what he was getting ready to do. If you didn't know it and you was on the other team, it was a surprise. Yeah, so, oh, man. Teammates. Trevor Powell. I got to say Trevor Powell. I got to say Billy. All my teammates, man.
Yeah, word.
I honestly, Nelson, because I've always been the kind of person, man. I was a team player.
Right.
I can go out score all the points.
Okay.
But being a point guard, if I'm scoring all the points, they ain't going to help me.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
that's when, or I can go out and I can play the two and shoot all the balls and let somebody else do all the passing. But if we lose, then I'm always feeling like it's my fault. So every time somebody say I couldn't do something, I'll go work on that.
Word.
Or every time, you know, one of the better players that I say that they said was best around here, I'll go play against them. Whatever his favorite move was, I was stealing it.
No doubt.
So I'll go steal the move that he got, and I already knew how to defend it because he tried it against me.
Okay.
So now I'm one move up.
Okay.
When I play against him, most people can't hold their own move.
Okay. No doubt.
And that's just common knowledge, you know, as it go through your basketball terminology and I guess your head for the game, you learn all that going through when you really a student. Some people just play the game, some people just watch the game, and some people just talk about the game. And we know the difference. Me and you do. Everybody don't know the difference. That's why so many people saying they doing so much.
Right. So we talked about this off wax, BG. What playground did you play Warner for? Like me, I only played Warner 1 year. I was 2'4", Orange Crush, 8 to 12. I played 1 year though. I knew what it meant. I knew what it was. But you know, that's back in the day when they had the bike shorts, man. And man, it
that's
was
what I'm saying with the Converse.
Man. So.
Back to that story. Before we go to that, listen. Okay. So I goes to BC camp.
Okay.
And everybody else in BC camp. When we walk into BC, that's the top camp in the country.
Okay.
When Tony, remember I said Tony didn't went the first year. The second year we come through, we getting ready to go, right?
Yeah.
We get to go. But they come back the first year, they getting scholarship offers from D1s. You know, everybody that went is from the hood. I'm like, man, I'm just as good as them. We all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if they did it, I can do it. So the next year we go to camp, we standing in line. And as we standing in line, all these people was walking past and they saying, where your pass at to get in the camp? I say, man, y'all invited me. Y'all should know this. Remember, Miami, we didn't have this type of technology we got.
Right.
So if you sent me a letter in the mail, I'm sure you got a list of who sent their money back and all that. I didn't bring my card. So they tell me you got to wait to the end and then we'll look all that up. Cool. But why Marcus Liberty, you know, Ramil Robinson and all them walking past, I'm like, man, who is they?
Right.
They looking at me, they like, dude, who are you?
Who are you?
You know what I'm saying? They say, well, them the top players in the country.
Word.
I said, man, I'm just as good as them. How you just gonna let them walk past? Did you know they was coming?
Word.
Why they ain't gotta stop and give you no card? This is what I'm asking.
Word.
And I'm just young because I love basketball. I feel like I'm just as good as the next man. We all gotta lace it up. So I'm for real talking slick.
Right.
We start the camp. They put me on the weakest team in the camp, but they gave me the best big man.
Oh, man. Point guard with a big man, that's all you need.
Back then, I could throw lobs. My big man wasn't catching lobs. This dude was catching every lob I threw. So now I got this dude that's catching lobs, and I find a couple white dudes that can shoot. I go from the second day I'm there, I call my mama, and my mama say, boy, what you doing down there? All these white people calling me. I said, Ma, I'm just playing basketball. Seriously, Nelson, true story. I said, I'm just playing basketball. She say, they calling up here, coming up here, talking about, asking me questions about you and trying to see how we living and offering this and offering. I said, Ma, I'm just playing basketball. Only been down here 2 days. Remember, you didn't let me come last year. So I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So as the week go by, you know, they winking at me. They can't talk to me. We go to the All-Star game. We get to the All-Star game, and I'm playing an All-Star game. Mommy, remember, I done cussed these people out about I'm just as good as them that's on the court. You know what I'm saying? So we playing. Now they got Sean Kemp. I got Sean Kemp on one side, Marcus Liberty on another side, Chris Mills, you know, Chris Mills that played in the league, and Sean Higgins. All them is my teammates. So I suppose I got MVP by myself. But instead, I got co-MVP with Sean Kemp. We all know now. I know now why they did that. But originally, I didn't know that they did it because I had opened my mouth. But back then, it wasn't no AAU. My AAU was Warning. Back to Warning. Because I got to talk about that, man, once they did. Listen, I started out at Rose Park. Remember, my daddy used to just... You know, Mike McGee was his friend. Rose Park, they used to play softball at. So when I'm up there anyway. Me and Mike McGee Jr. was friends. I started out at Rose Park. I left Rose Park. I played at Columbia. Mind me, and I'm going to say it in the end, I played at Columbia. When I left Columbia, I played up at Sherman. I played at Sherman for a long time till we got to high school. Once we got to high school, about my sophomore, junior year, half our team, you know, half the team from Washington would be the Warning team at Sherman. So we ran the city year round. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no doubting what was going on. So now we go play with 29th Street. I go play with 29th Street because I love Daryl Banks and he the coach. I just want to play for Daryl Banks. Everybody think they paying us.
For Warning?
But listen, but what's happening is they ain't paying us. What's going on is that I'm an All-American, so these coaches is coming no matter where we at.
So they coming in the summer.
They coming in the summer to see me play in Warning.
Oh man!
True story. I hurt my ankle at Tiffin Tyler. Coach Bruce Pearl gave a kid $100 to go across the street to the S&A. S&A ain't there no more by Tiffin Tyler, so you know I'm telling the truth. Came back with the ice. I said, Coach Pearl, I don't want that ice. I'm playing Warning. He telling me to stop. Don't play no more. And I'm like, man, no, this is the hood. This is, you don't understand what's going on. But now I'm understanding what he was saying. If you trying to be a professional, you hurt yourself, you stop and sit down. You done proved yourself to them. I didn't know that then. So back to the Warning story, because me and you do this all the time. I played with Sherman. I went to 2-9. Once I got to 2-9, we assembled everybody that was nice in the city.
Man.
Miami, we didn't have AAU. They used to fly me to play with other teams all across the country because we didn't have AAU. So the closest to AAU for me when I got out of town with them dudes was my Warning team, 2-9.
So Rick Cobb wasn't around when you was...
No, Rick Cobb was at Marquette. Calvin was in the 7th and 8th grade. Remember this. Them is my guys, my little guys, but they get the same accolades. Cal went to Washington because I went there. Cal wore 10 because, you know what I'm saying? That's the respect we have for each other. When you ask him who the best, Cal gonna say, man, it's people before me. What you hear me say, it's people before me. I ain't gonna never say it's me because you learned it from somebody else. Whatever it is in life, you done learned it from somebody. If you self-taught, then, you know, who gonna listen to you? Somebody got to go through it to understand that it was a struggle. You know what I'm saying? And the best people that played basketball was the ones that was hustling and selling drugs that wasn't eligible. But they didn't have no age requirement. I mean, they didn't have no grade requirement for Warning. So you played against the gangsters, the killers, the thugs, the pimps, you know, all that. But you knew who they were because y'all respected each other's territory. They looked out for you, you know, that kind of stuff. When you played basketball, if they was cold, they cold. When they got done, they went and did what they did for their life and their family, and you respected that. But I'm one of the few, I think I'm the only person in Warning. That's how slick I'm going to talk. I think I'm the only person in Warning that's done won MVP in every age group. I probably done won it twice in some age groups.
That's a fact check, man.
It's a fact. Period. You ain't got to ask Mike McGee. They ask Mike McGee about everything, every age group. I done won MVP.
That's love right there.
Some of them been twice.
Damn.
And then you get this age and everybody go talking about how cold they is. Check that stat. And I don't like to toot my own horn, but man, that's a
this
feat
about
just to
you,
go
though.
Warren. But
This-
when you do Warren, man, Warren was the biggest to me. If we gonna ask that question, Warren
Right.
was the biggest thing because winning a state title and winning the high school games, that wasn't nothing. That wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing because if you do it in the wintertime in school, they still saying you playing against them weak white dudes up north. You ain't playing against none of us on the playground where you really got to prove what's going on. And back then when we played Warren, we went from playground to playground. We didn't go to no just play at Lincoln. So we'll have a game at your home. You came and played a game at our home. Then we'll play the playoffs like a real league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your whole family, you come to a game, your whole family will be out there.
Okay.
The whole family was in Sherman Park when we used to play. When I played at Columbia, the whole neighborhood would come because it was in walking distance. People don't even know what Warren is about.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Warren was about, back then we had crime in our community. And the police couldn't put their finger on when we do something wrong because all us look alike. So as kids, if we running around, we proud of them Warren shirts. When you got done playing, you ain't run home and take it off, did you? You ran through the hood with your shirt on until it was trying to go right. So if you
game day was game day.
if you did something wrong on the police, you was with that crew, you did something wrong, the police can identify what area you was from via that shirt that you had on.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it had the Warren stuff on.
Yeah, yeah.
People never knew that. That's how Warren got started. You know what I'm saying? It'd be playgrounds. Each playground had a color.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
knew you played for such and such. So if you did something to somebody, got into it with somebody, dude from that area, because this is, look what shirt he had on.
Word, BG. Damn, that's some knowledge right there, man. All right, so I got your favorite teammates, favorite coach.
Clyde Russ. That's my high school coach.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy, man, because he motivated me because he told me he would take me to them basketball camps at the Whitewaters and all that. And I dreamed of being a star in the NBA.
Okay.
So I thought I was way better than Whitewater. I knew I wasn't going to go there. No disrespect.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, no disrespect. But on the level of basketball, if you shooting to be good, I used to put stuff on my refrigerator, the qualifications to get in college.
Right.
The qualifications to get in Whitewater didn't compare to the qualifications to get in Iowa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right,
I knew that I had to do what I had to do eventually. And that's once I got MVP at the camp, then I started doing what I had to do. Before then, I was one of them dudes. And when I say I'm one of them dudes where you go hang out with your guys, you know, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, but I play basketball. Then when y'all go drink, when y'all drinking and smoking, I'm talking to girls. The same girls y'all talking to, I'm talking to. I ain't no different than y'all. Now when you get in trouble because you was drinking and because you was smoking, I could tell you, man, you shouldn't have been drinking. That wouldn't have happened. I knew to leave.
Word. Well, BG, the reason I did this, man, I'm one of the younger cats from our generation, from y'all generation. I was a little BG at that time, so I just had to make sure y'all recognize, man, because y'all laid a lot of foundation and people don't know who y'all are. Right. And the history broke down with black people back in the 70s when all the dope came through and all the guns and all that. They really flooded the community, man. But from Milwaukee, we know we're from a unique community. It's a unique black man and black female in this city.
Yes, it is.
I just want to make sure, man, when it comes to confidence in the clutch, man, you know, whether it's the game of basketball, the game of life, you got to have confidence in the clutch. Pressure makes diamonds. You one of these diamonds, BG. You one of our diamonds, right? So you stay sucker free. You stay sucker free right now. You stay sucker free, and because you had that confidence, you know, people always say practice makes perfect. No, confidence makes, well, practice makes confidence. That's what I say. You know, we got to do what we got to do, but I want to big up UBG, so that it ain't about tooting your own horn shit. I'm tooting your horn. You know what I mean, we got to make sure we salute
you know how
the
I
legends,
feel about
man.
that, man.
We got to salute the legends.
I don't went to talking. I'm sitting here thinking like, B, you really talking like that? But
man, it is, man. This your shit.
Well,
Like, you know what I'm saying? This your shit.
Yeah.
This is your shit. So can't nobody say nothing to you. You know what I mean, BG. Now let's get into this ball, man. Your favorite go-to move and the counter when they figured it out. What was it?
And mine was the in and out.
Okay.
So I in and out, and you gotta go either left or right.
Okay.
But when you thinking about going left and right, I pull up.
That's what I'm talking about.
So at any time, you couldn't do nothing with. I can go get wherever I wanted to get on the court. So if I can in and out you and you don't bite, I'm shooting right away.
Right away.
If I in and out you and you bite, I'm going the opposite way. Yo, man, help! I'm kicking it. The dude I know can shoot over there.
Man.
Make the game simple.
Very simple.
That's
Very
what
simple.
you got teammates for. The
Right.
game is to be played to get open shots, and that's what I play. That's how I play the game.
Right. All right. So, what was the best offense you thrived in?
Anyone,
Anyone?
because with playing basketball, you had to know basketball terminology,
You all right?
and each level you go to,
Uh-huh.
every coach don't run the same thing.
No,
so
so
when
that-
a coach don't run the same thing,
Yeah.
you got to figure out what do the guard do,
Right.
and then when as me being the point guard and playing for pay, if I don't figure out what these other dudes do, this other dude on the other team gonna figure his team out before me.
Mm-hmm.
He figure his team out before me. He gonna beat me, look good, and I'm gonna end up getting sent home. So
Okay.
what I would do is I go in and I learn the offense.
Okay.
But in learning the offense, I learn every position.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now when you learn every position, if somebody get hurt, coach, I can play that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Later
right.
for you got to be a big man to play. Coach, I can play that. Put me in. Watch me do this.
Right,
That
right.
kind of stuff. And with that being said, it happened overseas. Our big man got hurt. I said, Coach, I can do that. Put such and such in at this position. I play the 1-on-1 end, and I play the 5 on another end.
Right.
And I got a witness to this because the other person is from here.
Right.
I played the 5 and won a championship overseas.
Right.
The funniest thing in the world to me, but it was all because when you go overseas to play basketball, we're better than them.
Right.
We got to teach them the game.
Right.
So like I said, if you learn your team and you know the system that they running, basketball international sport, if you dumb it down for them and simplify it for them, then you can always have fun and do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You know, and with that being said, it's hard to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be the man. And I ain't just talking about the man on the basketball court. I'm talking about the man in the world. Everybody
Right.
want to be it, but once you're in that position, now it's everybody watching you. Do you really want everybody watching you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I learned that with basketball because when I played overseas, you couldn't count my money.
Okay.
But every time you go to the NBA, right away what they do, they post how much money you making, don't they?
Right. Right. Right.
Well, when you play overseas, you ain't gonna never make LeBron them money, but you gonna make them people that's sitting on the bench money.
Right.
And if they don't know how much you make, and now when you come back home to somewhere like Milwaukee,
Word.
where people, if you got something, they gonna come get it if you ain't hood enough,
Word,
or if
word.
you don't keep it real enough. You know what I'm?
Word,
They gonna come
word.
take it from you. Now, if they don't know what you making, you can come back and function.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
what?
you can come back and help and do what you need to do for your community. But when they know you got it and you ain't acting right,
Right.
no, it's no holds barred around here.
Word. Word. So we got the offense down. What defense did you thrive in, BG?
Man to man.
Man to man.
Because every defense is man to man. It
That's-
ain't no such
Thank you
thing
for
as no
saying
zone.
that. Thank you for saying
Everything
that.
is man to man. When you playing help D, it's man to man. When you playing a zone, it's an area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if man to man is an area, then what is when you play a zone? Ain't it an area
Yeah.
too?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know that, man. Me and
Yeah,
you
I
done
know
talked
that,
about
but you
that
know.
teaching, and when we try to tell the kids, it take them a million years to understand it, but when they learn it, it's an art. The year you won state. That's one of the simple things I told you. You were switching defenses, and I said, man, just tell them we switch D. You got to tell them what we doing in the defense. We switching because we want to speed the game up. They could play every defense you threw at people, but they didn't know why they were playing that defense. Once they realized why they were playing that defense, man, we had a ball going upstate.
Right. And that year, we didn't learn how to play defense. I mean, man-to-man defense all the way till the tournament. So them
I was
games,
there.
regional, sectionals, that's what we learned. And then it was all good. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, what offense did you dislike that you ever played and, like, I don't like this at all?
You know what? It wasn't none that I didn't dislike.
Okay.
Because I found out the principles playing basketball. You notice I keep saying when you say dislike something, you can't dislike it because when you get to a situation, whatever the coach throw at you, you got to learn. You got to
Yeah.
thrive at
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, you're gonna get cut or sent home.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole bunch of offenses I didn't like, but I knew being a point guard, I got 10 shots a game. And if I took the 10 shots that I practiced that came within that offense, my percentage was going to be high. You know what I'm saying? Same way they do in the NBA. We watch them every day, but what about that hour and a half, 2 hours before the game? They know what shots they going to shoot coming out that offense.
Muscle memory.
So now how we got dudes in the NBA that can't hit an open three and you shoot it for an hour and a half before the game and you know you're going to get this shot in the game and that's all you got to do.
They ain't practicing.
Well, they might be practicing, but what they getting paid for? I remember when you played basketball, you had to know how to do everything. You couldn't be no one-dimensional and be cool with being in the league. If somebody would come to the game and be like, man, I had dude spot, and be telling the dude that they talking about, not the person sitting next to him.
Word.
Hey, true story. True story. Cal Stewart, Keith Stewart, young oldest brother, right? He from the east side. I got invited to the Bucks camp, right? And Cal was always one of the dudes that I used to look up to. You know what I'm saying? So I go to the Bucks camp, and one of the dudes that's coaching in the summer league we playing in, undefeated, he a coach there. Okay. So when I get there 30 minutes early. I get there, said, Brian Garner, you should have been here. You got to be here early. And John, and he was there, right? So I didn't say, and I said, I apologize. But Cal Stewart got there an hour before the event, right?
Right. He
walked in with his bag, got dressed and all that. They said, what are you doing here? He said, I come to hoop. You missing what I'm saying? Right. They didn't invite him.
Right. He coming to hoop.
Man, he coming to hoop. How y'all gonna invite BG in and then y'all gonna say I can't come in here?
Right.
But you gotta understand, when you from the hood, it's people that have that mentality. If you gonna get him a shot, I'm trying to get that same shot too.
Right.
Because when they start recruiting me, recruiting. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know recruiting. Mm-hmm. If they really want you, they gonna come see you. Yep. And 9 times out of 10, before AAU, they would come to your high school practice.
Right.
So I would tell the coaches, like, man, y'all gonna get to see me and my high school team practice and play. Y'all coming to the games. Why don't y'all come to Levine Way every night at 6 o'clock? Every night at 6 o'clock, we balling. And it's everybody in the city. So now when they come to Levine Way every night, it's, Jerry Wilson Sway, it's John West, it's Trevor Powell, Charles Luter, Keith Stewart. It's just people, the wall to wall. Every game we play is Division with Tony Smith. It's Division I players, and half of them wasn't getting recruited at the time. Mm-hmm. Once they started coming to Levine, where they're like, wow, these all the kids that appeared at different camps, but they would come to recruit us, and they would always go to our school. So they had to go to each individual school to see us in a day. Ain't no way a coach can get a real take on how you play just coming to see you at practice at a high school setting.
Word.
So we'll come to, I used to make them come to Levine Way. No, y'all can't come to my practice. Y'all got to come to Levine Way to see us play.
Word. So, changing direction a little bit, BG. What has basketball done for you, brother?
You want to know the truth?
Yeah, got to know the truth.
On the money side, nothing. I feel like I didn't get what I deserved out of it because I really, 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 really put what you're supposed to put into it. When I say that the training, the school side, the not having kids, the staying away from women, the stand up to, when you're around your guys and knowing to walk the other way, knowing that they're going to get a bunch of money, you got to go walk the other way. Mm-hmm. And now, not having what I thought I would have upsets me.
Okay.
But the biggest gratification I get out of it is that I'm a substitute teacher and going to work every day and gaining the respect of these kids. And they know nothing about me, about basketball. It's the joy that I get.
Word.
Because once they find out that I play basketball via somebody else telling them that I played, that I garner a whole different respect then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, you play basketball. And I'd be like, well, that's why you respect me. They said, no, you was cool before that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now I know you play basketball and you from where I'm from, you can help me.
Word.
The older kids say that.
Word.
The younger kids be like, where you play? And ask all the questions, and knowing that whatever I tell them, they ain't going to know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just have, but it builds camaraderie.
Right.
Me playing basketball builds camaraderie. What I didn't get out of it is the money side. Mm-hmm. But having so much God in me, I'm rich.
Right.
I'm rich a million times over.
Word.
You understand what I'm saying? And it takes a lot to say that when you feel like you ain't got nothing every day and you striving to get more, not just for yourself, but for your community.
Yeah, but that's that faith, BG, because even Tanya always be like, Cat be struggling or whatever. She like, you ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't, bro, you ain't nothing. You rich in Jesus. She always say that. You rich in Jesus. You don't. So as long as you believe in Jesus and all that, you're going to be all right.
Listen, the reason why I believe in him, because everything I asked him to do in basketball for me, he did. He did.
Word.
Except the money part.
Word.
So, you know that I can't get mad at you. You held everything.
Right.
Everything I asked, I prayed on God to do, I did.
Word.
Everything in regards to basketball.
Word. Now, we went down with your rundown, BG. Accomplishments on and off the court, though. We went down what you did, you know what I mean, professionally overseas. Well, you know, what you want the people to know about your accomplishments that they may not know that you held, you know what I mean, on and off the court.
Oh, man, that question. You left a whole bunch. Rephrase that. Let me hear it again.
What are your accomplishments on and off the court,
On and
BG?
off the court.
Like, because I said, we went to rundown. We know what you did nationally in high school. You know what I mean? Iowa, Oral Roberts. Professionally, you said you won championships. We don't know that. We don't know what countries you've been in, BG.
Yeah,
What you know?
listen, I played in Colombia.
Ooh.
Where the dope come from. They offered it as a contract. But what people don't know is that it's a couple other people here in Milwaukee that played in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? And this is a story I got to tell. I was Brian Garner all my life.
Okay.
When I got to Iowa, my name was changed to Brian Henry. Part because my identity was stolen. Secondly, because my father didn't sign my birth certificate. So my mom's maiden name was Henry. So when I went overseas, I was Brian Garner, United States All-American, all that. Now I go overseas, I'm Brian Henry. They don't correlate the two names. So you know how people come back over and play in the United States. All my film and footage say Brian Henry. You know what I'm saying? And I got it. Me and my family, we gonna make sure to show some of the footage from me playing overseas and all that kind of stuff. But with that being said, it's like biggest accomplishment off the court. We're staying out of jail, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We're staying out of jail. For
sure.
real, man, because everybody around me, you know, they done been to jail on humbug time or for some reason, for this, from that. And that, again, go back to God.
No doubt.
Man, I brag about that, staying out of jail.
No doubt.
And I done been in the trenches,
Right.
at the hours, with the people with the guns. Know
Right.
who shot this person, shot that person, and not
Right.
one time has my name got called. That's God.
Yeah, that's God. Nothing but God.
And I
You was
thank him.
chosen. You was chosen.
Hey, let
BG.
me knock on this wood, man. We still out here. We still out. Honestly, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know this. When I left here back in the day, I did carry a gun. I carried a gun because that was the thing to do for a black man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Especially being from Milwaukee. So I leave, and the faith that I have in God, I get to Oral Roberts. I take and I pawn my gun. Right? So I'm messing with a girl. I'm finally at that age where I gotta mess, you know. So she says she pregnant. She had a baby. I'm going by to check on the baby. The first night I go by, we cool. I talk to her, you know what I'm saying, and she really ain't my girl. It's like I'm just going because you supposed to be having my baby. I gotta check on you. The baby there, she chilling. So I go hang out with my guy the next day. He dropped me off at her house. Mind me, we don't have cell phones and all that at that time. So I go over her house. She come around the corner. It's one dude holding my baby. His baby, because come to find out it wasn't my baby, and hugging her. So, I'm from Milwaukee. I'm from around pimps and players. I don't overreact. I say, baby, just let me use your house phone.
Right.
So let me call my guy so he can come back and get me. Me being from Milwaukee and niggas from down there knowing how niggas from Milwaukee act, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, man, let me get out this bathroom. I don't know what they thinking. They could say I was trying to do something to her, any of that. So I walk out. As I'm walking out, she jump on my back and just go to bite me. You know what I'm saying? I still got the scar. You know what I'm saying? Like a hickey scar. She got her eyes closed, bite me. So I just, elbow her off me. I turn around. Dude got a gun to my head. But he's shaking. The first thing I think about is, man, you done seen this before. You from the crib. He's shaking. He don't want to shoot. So I hit his hand. Bam. Your hand go backwards. You know what I'm saying? I take off running, come up, and he just shoot because he got to shoot because she there. You can go left and go down the stairs. You go around. If I went around the corner, it was a chance he could meet me around it. So I turned and go left. The bullet hit me right here, the lower part of my back, hit my hip, and was lodged right under my heart, right here, right in my rib. Because we got the camera, I'm gonna show my name. Right up under, right here. Bullet just sitting out. You know what I'm saying? Under my heart. I jumped down the stairs. I called my guy, tell him come back around. I dialed the ambulance. When the ambulance get there, this how silly I am. I say, man, they getting ready to cut my jabots off. They brand new. I just bought them that day. I said, man, why don't y'all just let me take my jabots off? They said, no, man, you might tear or rip anything. Right, so I go in and and I had surgery. They had to see if I have internal bleed.
Word.
And the code, they was having Crips and Bloods down there.
Yeah.
And the Crips was my guys, but when we went to play basketball, I wore red because that was our school colors and all that. So they didn't mess with me. Mm-hmm. But it was a Crip dude that shot me, and one of the Crip dudes told me who dude was because they was my guy. They like, you too cool to be. He ain't even had to do that. He could have had the girl and all that. We know for sure because we watch how you treat the girls around here. Mm-hmm. So they tell me, and I go to seeing dude. But when I come out of surgery, they tell me you wanted for attempted murder in Milwaukee. You got to go back up there. I'm like, man, I'm down here in school and y'all want me for attempted murder. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna mention no names, nothing, but some people here. Brother is the police. Mm-hmm. My people was standing next to him shooting, so when they were shooting, instead of him telling on the people, my cousin them, he mentioned my name. So I went back to school. Right? I'm up there, I'm kicking it. I see dude that shot me. I walk past him like I walk past you, but because, I'm from Milwaukee, I'd rather catch it where I can really get to you. Me fine on you one time and you running out, that ain't gonna do nothing. So I go back by the door. I stand by the door, I look out, he going out the back door. I seen 2 times like that. The third time I was like, man, I'm finna move from here, man. A scared man will hurt you. Mm-hmm. And I know that from being from Milwaukee. So that's what I'm saying about the experiences growing up here. Mm-hmm. If you can live here in Milwaukee, you can live anywhere in the world.
Right.
Want me to tell you what they call the hood in another city? Old houses. What we call the hood. Hard living. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to see a chick every corner waving at you because she trying to get in your car because she cold, needs some money, needs some food, going to do whatever. Mm-hmm. Go to another, you hear what I'm saying? You go to another state, the hood is old houses. If you living in an old house, then you in the hood. You got to live in a brand new apartment with central air and you out the hood.
Word.
We got people living in brand new apartments with central air here. That's the hood.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, when you leave away from here, the cost of living is lower. Mm-hmm. Most people from Milwaukee don't leave and go past Minnesota or Chicago, so they don't really know what life is about.
Right.
But the karma that we have from Milwaukee, anywhere you go, people gonna follow you. They're gonna want to be you. And I never understood that. When I get here, I spend so much time trying not to be like the people from here that when I leave, I'm so much like them that everybody gravitate to me. But when they gravitate to me, because they don't know me, I don't let them in close, but I enjoy that. Mm-hmm. You can't be like that here in Milwaukee. When people gravitate to you in Milwaukee, somebody gonna say, I'm coming to get dude having too much fun.
Too much hate. I always say Milwaukee's a small hick town filled with haters, man.
I mean, but it's where it come from.
Cause they remember the track of the northern movement. Everybody that was more east came from the Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia type of track. Then if you go into Philly, you came like from the Alabama, whatever track, and Detroit was the Mississippi. Most people from here came from the Arkansas area and all that stuff.
Right.
You bring them tracks to Chicago, whatever, where you floated to when your family migrated. They came from small hick towns. And think about the mentality and the trauma from slavery that we had. We brought it up here, still with us, even though we were trying to leave.
Deep with it.
Even though we were trying to leave that.
Right.
It made leave that life.
It got worse.
And then we compounded because we compacted in on top of each other up north. And then it comes out that this ain't really too better than the South. Down the South, at least they let you know. Up here is hidden with different agendas. But
wow,
that's just how my study of us went, BG.
I mean, we've been philosophizing a long time on a lot of different stuff. So wow.
So, BG, your biggest rival school and individual.
My biggest rival school wasn't no rival school.
Cause y'all was what? What'd you say your high school record was?
72-6. But listen, when you say a rival school, I can honestly say Tech or Madison.
Okay.
Because one year we won state and came in second in the conference.
Oh, that's how you know.
That's what I'm saying about they talking about you got cheat. Our toughest time was playing in our conference. It wasn't going upstate. We had to play. We had to beat 2 or 3 of our teams to go upstate.
Right.
Once we got up there, it was easy because of what we had to go through in conference.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And back then, them coaches was for real. They taught.
Yeah.
We was fundamentally sound at every school. The Madisons, like right now, it used to be where if you went to Tech, you played team basketball. If you went to Madison, it was always that one dude that's gonna score 50 or 60 points. So we knew that going in. Now, there's so much going on with schools, so many different divisions that who really the best team?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But I believe if it was like that back then, what's that you wanted to have? A city review?
City, yeah.
Was it a city review?
A city, I wanted to have a city tournament before the state tournament so you could have a city champion like New York and Chicago do.
Right, but what I'm saying is with that, and I was thinking a little further on what you said, with that, add the Destinies.
Yeah,
the young Cobbs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Add all them. And we have our own city.
Yeah.
So, but when we go up to them tournaments and we come in second or whatever, we had a ball for each other.
Right. We got a trophy still. This might mean more. This might, just like for me, I don't give a damn about the city. I want that state title.
That's how you cut back on saying somebody cheated you. We know who the best in the city. Now we trying to go prove who the best in the state.
That's right. And do we want...
we might have 3 teams that's the best in the state. Now what we going to do? We know who the best out of them 3 because we had a city championship before they went.
Right, and winning they state, what did that mean,
I mean,
how about that,
They go up on the wall.
They go up on the wall, though.
Stats from history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might hold an assist record, something like that, but I don't know. That ain't nothing that they talk about unless Washington playing.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Just the little stuff that went on. We might have shot like 70% in the championship game.
Word.
And we had to do that because it was 7 against 5.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying 7 against 5 like the ref was cheating because we knew what they were going to call.
Right.
So we knew what they were going to call, and the other team knew how they had to play for the rest to call that. They was 7 against 5.
And I told Bill this year in our end of the year meeting that we need to get these referees from the suburbs, get them an extra $15 a game to come back in so they can ref our city games like we're going to go into the playoffs. Because just listen though, BG. Just listen to BG, because when we get away with a lot of garbage sometimes in the city, depending on the refs we have, and it's not consistent. Whereas when we go to the suburbs, we know we got to play a certain way.
But why do our refs from the city, when they ref tournament games and other conference games, they give you a good game? They call the taps.
Some of them know. But
the taps and the bumps.
I know what to do for my team. What I would do, I would schedule a whole bunch of non-cons before the tournament.
I mean, you know that.
Right. I know what to do to get us ready
but
mentally.
You know that from experience. But my thing is with it is that no matter what ref you bring in, if you teach fundamentals, the ref have to call what's done in fundamentals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got a dribble to play basketball. You understand what I'm saying? The ref can't call nothing they can't call travel if we don't never put it down.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And what they do to us when they get upstate, they don't put it down. We get too close. It's a foul.
Word.
But in the city conference, you put it on the floor. You can get pushed, kicked, scraped, and grabbed, and it's nothing.
Word. BG.
Yes, sir.
Who's your hardest player to guard, man? Ever.
Tim Hardaway, man.
Tim Hardaway
gave me 75. Well, listen, because I play D. I'm one of the best defensive players you can, ever.
Word.
And I'll toot my horn on that. But it's in correlation to, like, me and Keith Stewart playing against each other, and then you on Keith's team and I'm Tim.
Okay.
So I'm really fine at Keith.
Yeah.
And dude, you in the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I come in, I'm holding my own, but Tim he on a roll.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So out of that 75, he probably gave me 25.
Yeah.
The other 50 was on a dude that was his neighborhood rival. Because I played Pro-Am in Chicago. We didn't have Pro-Am. We didn't have summer leagues. We didn't have none of that.
Right.
So I would play with the Irvins, the Mac Irvin Fires, and all the top AAU teams in the country. They dads and they sons, and I played with all of them.
Okay.
So a lot of times, I can honestly say this. This just came to me.
Okay.
I did a commercial with Jordan.
Okay.
And Michael Jordan is the person, the biggest influence ever. And it wasn't, and he don't even know what he done for me.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And I say this because I played in a, you know how he loved the game. So we did a commercial. He was doing his retirement, and Mike went to a room. We sat, he's smoking a cigar, we talking, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to go overseas. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep playing and so on and so forth. He said, young fella, here, take this number. And he gave me the number to his agent. But when he gave me the number to his agent, remember, there's no cell phones, no pagers, no none. So I could never catch the man again. But David Falk put me on to the lower echelon dudes in the company. So when I got to Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela, all the people that from Milwaukee that made it to them places, they got there from somebody else, and I got there via, Michael Jordan agent. But I can't say that Michael Jordan agent did it because it's like David Falk the man, so he got people in his company, and they gonna do a favor for them just because of the company. You feel what I'm saying?
Right,
and I never
right.
got a chance to thank Mike for that. So when I finally get to see him again, he gonna remember me because we had a extensive conversation about life and everything. And BJ walked past me.
Okay.
BJ Armstrong walked past me and didn't say nothing. He was like, didn't y'all go to Iowa together? He said, I checked it. He checked up on me and all that. The people that was around, if you could play, he would ask questions. It was like, I was like, man, I don't know nothing about that. He was my teammate. And then I sat down and I told him the story. I said, I came to Iowa. I was Tom Davis' first recruit. And when I got there, it was a senior point guard in front of BJ. The senior point guard hurt his knee. It was Tom Davis' first year. Tom Davis go 30-5. But I'm his first recruit. He bringing me in. And I know that George Raveling left the best team in the country. Mm-hmm. He's saying he just going to put the ball in my hand. Remember, I can run whatever offense, and I know I got 10 shots coming. Marcus Liberty and Mark Macon is my roommates in All-American games. We discussed going to school for 1 year and going to the league.
Okay.
They make me red shirt.
Word.
And they make me red shirt because Tom Davis say, you really think I'm going to lose my job for you?
Right.
BJ he's draftable, and if I don't play him, I'm going to lose my job. Right. And I looked at him with a tear in my eye like, what about me? You promised me something. You know what I'm saying? So then ever since then I was bitter. You know what I'm saying? I would go work and I worked harder. I would, I was better. I proved it. I was better than him and all that. But now one of my little guys, I still teach kids. One of my little guys was in college and he was going somewhere in Wyoming. He get on an airplane and he see BJ. The same way you remember me, he said, man, hey, BJ, yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, man. Brian Garner played with you. It really like, you ain't no star, BJ. Brian was the star to me. He just so happened to play with you.
No doubt.
Dude looked at dude and said, who is Brian Garner? Excuse my language. Little dude was like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna say you ain't played with him and I sat and watched y'all play? Word. He brought shorts back to the Levon way from Iowa and so on and so forth. And I know he a good dude and he colder than you. And I was like, man, why you talk to him like that? He said, B, somebody had to say it because I seen you play.
Word.
I know the work you put in. And then this man going to sit and say he don't know who you are.
Word. Yeah, that's whack.
I mean, that's but you know how it go too, man.
Right. Toughest defender.
Toughest defender. And I don't know.
That's a good thing. If you don't know that, mean, couldn't nobody check you then.
I mean, that's how I really say that because it was never no pressure. Remember, I told you I used to walk around the block with the basketball. So walking around the block, you knew couldn't nobody take it from you. Only time they'll take it from you if the ball popped out there.
Right.
Best defender though.
Toughest one, like, man, you had to really come out the in and out, wasn't working. He sliding over, getting to you, got to go hand cross him back, go behind the back to get back to it. Like what you had to do, BG.
I mean, to tell you something, it would be somebody in practice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody to practice with me is Steve Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Steve Blackman.
Word.
Because we played during a time when there wasn't no 3-pointers. And dude used to shoot threes way deep whenever he wanted to. And he played football, so he'll post you up. You know what I'm saying? But he was only 5'11". So Steve Blackman.
Right.
And away from the team, I got to say Terry Bennett.
Word.
Because Terry Bennett was like Steve. He'll step up and play for Madison High School. One of the only people from Milwaukee that went to college and had a 50-point game. You know what I'm saying? Still got his own AAU program and training people. People call and ask me about Terry. Mm-hmm. Is it okay for Terry to work with my kid? Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Terry got a proven track record. Mm-hmm. Then they called me and asked me or have Facebook. Man, I just deactivated my Facebook page. And I deactivated it because I'm tired of seeing people out on there faking and me holding my tongue from saying something to them about whatever they talking about. It's either you toot your own horn or you trying to steal from the system. And that's okay.
Right. And you hating. Not only hating, but player hating.
So I had to deactivate it. Right. I had to deactivate it because I caught myself, like some people go to posting footage of them playing basketball. Well, footage of you playing basketball where?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
in a rec league.
The rec league.
I mean, but rec leagues count. Don't get me
count.
wrong. Warner count. Warner was a rec league.
They count.
But it count to who?
Count to them.
Do you that caused you to be able to train somebody on how to dribble or how to shoot?
Right.
Now, anybody can train. Want me to tell you why? Because all you got to do is bring them to a gym and have them do fundamental stuff, layups,
and that's
free
free
throws. Well, they don't know how to even teach a layup.
Not at all.
Mic and drill. That's just the little stuff, and that's stuff that you're supposed to what? Be able to do on your own. So why parents got to pay for that now?
Word.
Makes sense, don't it?
Makes sense, y'all. Whether it's the game of basketball or the game of life, you got to have confidence in the clutch. Pressure makes diamonds. Stay sucker free. Confidence builds perfection, baby. We're going to take a break.